All right, let's get Markwe to get her question. Markwe?
If I understand the NUT chairman correctly, is he saying then that the NUT is not fighting for all the 21,000 sacked teachers, going by the explanation that he's given?
Thank you very much. It is our responsibility to ensure that whether those that failed, whether the group that passed, we have a responsibility. As a Nigerian, don't forget, NUT is an integral part of Nigeria Labour Congress. And wherever there is going to be job loss, we have a responsibility. My concern is that the government of Kaduna, it is whatever you sow, you reap. It's a process. They ought to know that at least in that part of the country, they should know what education is all about. What I'm trying to say is that, okay, this SSC, this school SAT, this grade 2 in view, there should be a time frame. In this part, Lagos, Ogun, all others, they are no longer here. You cannot find grade 2 for God's sake. But because of your own peculiarity, if you still have them, what I'm saying is that,
if I may come in, are you saying then, I mean, you've already talked about how the minimum qualification for teachers in this country is NCE. How then can the NUT be covering teachers who still have grade 2 or who have NCE in view or who just have school certs? Can you really say that those are teachers who come under your purview when they were not teachers qualified in the first instance?
Nigeria Union of Teachers are not the employers. Nigeria Union of Teachers are not the employers of those grade 2 or SSC, whatever. What I'm trying to say is that the Kaduna State government ought to have gotten it straight right from the beginning. That's what I'm saying. So, another thing, sir, is that 21,000 failed. 70, they raised, even, you see, we need to have sympathy for this, the so-called 21,000 people that were said to have failed, because of the ripple effect on the citizenries. We are just coming out of recession, for God's sake. That is just on the altar of morality. You understand? What I'm trying to say is that time frame ought to have been given to these people. Let them go and upgrade themselves. For God's sake, the government in Kaduna again need to have key into the directive that the national minimum teaching qualification in this country is NCE. That is what I'm saying. So, but whereas you now want to sack, number one, may I pick hole on this the test itself? Why do you now even raise it to 75%? Even jump as I speak. What is the cutoff mark? Why all over the world, 40 to 45, 50 or thereabout? Why, if you see, my own is, I'm sorry, I might be wrong. My own suspicion is that the government of Kaduna at all cost want to downsize the number of workforce. If not, they ought not to have said the baseline is 75%. It is wrong.
Mr. Alukwe, I'm sure that you're aware, I don't know if you can hear me, I'm sure that you're aware that the state government also say that they are currently hiring. As a result of the fact that they're going to be sacking 21,000 teachers, they realize that there's a deficit and there is, they're seeking an opportunity to right what you say got wrong initially, and they say that they are recruiting. Is that not satisfactory for the Nigerian Union of Teachers?
I don't want to join issues in my way with Kaduna State government. First and foremost, are they having these 25,000 readily available in Kaduna? That's my first question. Do they have them readily available? Then what is the implication of the so-called people that they are intending to throw into the labor market? Pensions? Or in a state where promotion has not been given, in a state where an annual increment are there as I speak, leave grant has not been paid.
All right.
Why don't we sit down and put and reorder our priorities?
Let me pick up on some of the things you said. You say, first of all, making it 75% should not be the case.
It's not ideal.
But you know, when you now sit back and think, wait a minute, this is primary 4 exams we're talking about. When some people would have thought What do you mean 75%? Shouldn't it even be 100%? Why would teachers who are teaching far much more than that can't pass primary 4 exams and we're talking about 75%?
Thank you. You see, I'm a professional when it comes to test construction. Okay? The so-called, I don't know whether you have seen the questions.
What about the results? Let's look at some of those.
You see, the so-called questions to write comprehension, what is ICT, and what have you?
They can't write comprehension.
That as a teacher, the questions need to be more professional inclined. That's what I'm saying.
If the Kaduna State government got it wrong from the start, what do they need to do to get it right?
Thank you. Let Kaduna State government convoke immediately education summit.
For what?
To discuss their problems, their peculiarity.
No, but he's already employing teachers to replace those ones who did not make the test.
It is easier said than done. We shall see. Where are they getting 25,000 qualified teachers in Kaduna?
But that's on the one hand, because if you look at those results...
You're asking me the question, what they should do. Look, let them call immediately. Let me see. Take your peculiarity. Take your destiny in your hands, that these are issues, these are problems, and this is Kaduna project. We want to get out of the doldrum. One, call education summit immediately. All the education stakeholders in Kaduna, assemble them. What is the way forward?
But it doesn't solve the problem immediately, because when you say that some of them did not meet the teaching standards in this country,
it will be identified.
Will it make sense? Will it make sense? Will it make sense? Let me just land on this. Will it make sense to you then that while that is pending, these ones that didn't make that test, I mean, it's primary 4, they didn't make that test, they should step aside, on the one hand, get themselves trained, and then they can be reabsorbed? Will that solve the problem?
You see, well, it depends on the angle through which you are assessing or looking at this matter. As far as I'm concerned, whether SSC, whether grade 2 view or whatever, and taking into cognizance their peculiarity, there's none of them that could not be taught to improve on the system.
Because I'm just seeing 0/15 in primary 4 results. But comrade, beyond some of questions, beyond some of the, that is a primary 4 questions. Because beyond some of the things,
what are the questions? Look, you just
no, let me just ask, because beyond some of the arguments that you may have